Whom the Son sets free is free indeed. So therefore I am free indeed. The only thing that can keep me free is myself, is my mind, is my own internal dialogue. According to our faith is the life that we'll live. Yeshua repeatedly said, you've been healed because of your faith. Because of your faith, you are free. Because of your faith, this has happened. Because of your faith, your atmosphere has been cleared from the toxins and pollutions of darkness in this world, from the toxins and pollutions of human perpetuated suffering. According to our faith is how we will receive. And so I choose to believe that the King of Glory is really the King of Glory, and that the one that holds my heart and the one whose my loyalty resides with, that one is the one that is worthy to be praised, who is worthy to be trusted. He's done it before and he'll do it again. Unlike people who deliver and then just all of a sudden stop, he's not like that. He says that he is not a man that he should lie. His covenant is universal, and it is a covenant. It is because it is. I am that I am. It is so because it is so. It's a frequency that once you're tuned into it, it is all delivering, all sustaining, all providing. There's always enough. There's always enough. And so our faith, our ability to tune in to this frequency is dependent upon our ability to continue initiating faith. Faith is really it's a sound, it's a wavelength that we attune ourselves with that is free from fear. It does not mean that there aren't things to be afraid of. It means that we do not allow those things to be afraid of to infiltrate our atmosphere, and to infiltrate our being enough to affect our vibration, to affect our posture, to affect and it doesn't require our understanding or circumstances to change in order for us to remain in the posture of faith. And unfortunately, we reside in a culture, a man-made culture that has highly discouraged us out of faith. We have been programmed away from faith in order to buy into the man-made system. You're irresponsible if you don't have every kind of health insurance and life insurance and this insurance and that insurance, and they tell you that makes you responsible. Well, what if my God said, I don't need to be afraid and I'm just going to believe in him and trust him, and I'm going to do things that are responsible when they make sense, but I'm not going to buy a bunch of crap out of fear. I'm a responsible business person who stewards her seeds well. So that's where that comes in. But I don't buy things just because you said I need them. This is where the personal relationship with God comes in so clutch, because there is no binary. You can't put, for example, how we've heard stories in the news about certain belief systems that just don't seek medical attention. I think that's one of those binary boxes that it's like, who are you listening to? Did you actually seek the voice of God on that? Because he will appoint people who have been specialized in medicine for their entire life to be the point person for your issue. And anyway, that's a tangent. But this is where walking every day with the voice of the Creator himself as your main man is so pertinent to knowing which way to go and what decisions to make. Back to what we were just talking about. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things unseen. It's the evidence of things unseen. When the man brought his son who was harassed by the pollution and toxins of darkness, the little boy he was possessed by a spirit of darkness that was here to torment people. And let us remember and be really, these stories aren't from some other planet or from some other reality of existence. These stories are just from a while ago here on this same planet, and this is still something that we deal with today. Come on, Lola Bean. Oh my gosh, stop. Go on. Go with your sister. Go, go, go. Kitties. Okay. So the boy when this demon would torment this boy, he would have seizures. He would self-harm. Things like this are not of the past. You can't medicate out a spiritual problem. There's no pill or surgery that will fix a spiritually poisoned person. The spiritually poisoned person needs spiritual purification. And this is not something that we can do for each other through condemnation and hatred. This is something that we do through creating an atmosphere of worship and allowing people to soak in the atmosphere of worship. This is why it is important for our children to be in the room when we are worshiping. We shouldn't always just box them off like... Anyway, okay. So, Lord God, rise up our faith. The father who brought that son to Yeshua, and he was like, help me, help him. And he was like, where's your faith? Do you believe that I can do this, or that I want to do this? I think there's such a distinction there that we should all, or at least I'll just talk for myself. Like, I always was like, yeah, I know God can do it, but does he want to? Does he want to do it? And that's one of those, you got to be real mature in your faith to realize that he will always do the right thing. We don't always have the whole picture. So anyway, but when it comes to like freedom, whom the Son sets free is free indeed. So that is what he wants for us. And you know what I love about the Father in this story is like he was like, help my faith. Like, he had been living with this little boy. Can you imagine? He probably tried so many things to get this little boy free. He probably tried doctors. They probably spent money. They probably tried different doctors, specialists, religious people. They tried everything. And so by the time he encounters Jesus, he's like, yo, I want to believe that you got this, but like we've been doing things. And this is one of those ways that cultures will quickly talk you out of faith. Because you look like, in the eyes of the world, you look foolish. Oh, you're still going to try? Oh, you still believe for, healing? Oh, really? What if the healing comes and there's no faith, which is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of the thing that has been unseen? There's no faith for it to land on. That's why it's so crucial that we always keep our hearts in a posture of faith. It's crucial that we always keep our hearts in a posture of faith. Because we must be in expectation of miracles flying through the sky at all times. There are miracles that are flying through the atmosphere at all times. And we've been told repeatedly that, it's through our faith that we're able to receive them. It's through our faith that we're able to behold them. It's through our faith that we're able to house the miracles that Abba has sent out for us. So we choose to initiate our faith. We choose to relieve ourselves of the responsibility of knowing how it's going to happen. We relieve ourselves of the obligation of the timeline, because it's not up to us. This is when really God is your God and you're not your God, or that they're like that nitpicky person in your life isn't your God, or that your judgmental family isn't your God, or your work people aren't your God, your spouse is not your God. When the God of the universe is your God, He is on the timeline, He is on the throne. You ultimately are, your job is to reside in His presence and let Him produce the outcomes that are according to His intentions for you, His good heart for you, that has always been there from outside of time. How would we possibly turn from the master of the universe, who is our creator and yet our dearest friend, closest friend? How could we turn from that for this new husband, or like that, your parent that you've always been living your whole life trying to impress? Sometimes our identity has been created around somebody else's wound. It's a hard one to explain. Sometimes we've been raised up through the filter of a wounded person, or a person that was missing something in their love toolbox. And so we will forever be living in that projected identity if we don't choose to go with our Creator and discover all the things that He says we are. Abba, we ask for an increase in faith. We ask for revelation of what it means to be your child. We ask for revelation of what it means to reside in the supernatural frequency of heaven. What it means to know that when we have opted you in as our God, and we have opted ourselves into your realm of living, what it means when you really do bring heaven to earth. Cause us to believe with our eyes of faith and not our physical eyes. Cause us to see through your lens of perpetual hope. Cause us to see through your heart of love and provision. Cause us to know life according to your coverage. There's so much coverage with you. You have things covered from the end to the beginning. Lord God, allow us to stay in our posture of serving you, of loving you, of worshiping you, of just abiding with you. It's not always about striving and doing something, but just, God, cause us to always be aware of you. We want you. We want you. We want you in the garden. We never meant to eat the fruit. We never meant to be tricked into something that took you out of our life. We never meant to do that. We didn't know. Forgive us that we didn't know. We know that you already forgive us, and that word has taken on such a weird context. It's not like we're so bad and he hates us and we're like begging him. It's more just like, hey, we acknowledge that we didn't do this right. We didn't know, and we were wrong, or, there were so many things we didn't know. And as we learn, we realize just how much we were in error. And that's all there is to it. Is it's just like where I acknowledge that my thought line was in error. My thought process was out of tune. And so I want to continue learning the statutes and the principles of heaven so that I can remain in tune with you. Infiltrate this atmosphere, heaven, that your kingdom come and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Increase our faith, increase our revelation of sonship, increase our knowledge of identity in you. Tune our hearts to match the sound of your voice and of heaven. Teach us what it means to reside in your name. Show us who you are. Oh my gosh.